Okay, so someone wanted a look at my 968. So this is it, 968 ClubSport. It's a 1995 model, built in September 1994. 3-litre normally aspirated engine. 6-speed manual transmission. You see it's got the Cup 2 wheels, which were standard on the ClubSport. There's the 968CS badging there. So what makes a ClubSport a ClubSport? Well, the first thing you'll notice under here is that there is no soundproofing on the underside of the bonnet, or the hood as the Americans like to call it. There's very minimal soundproofing in the car at all. If we come inside, you'll see that it's got crank up windows. See, it's got no power controls anywhere for the mirrors because they're manually adjusted mirrors. There's no comfort seats like in the regular 944 and 968. They had electric comfort seats. There's no electric boot release for the car either. To release the rear hatch, there's actually, can I get it on camera here? There's actually a little grab handle there. You can see the little hooky bit, and it's a manual release for the hood. So if I reach in there, that should have released the rear hatch. So all of those manual items, because they're manual rather than electric, it saves on a whole heap of motors and wires, and that saves a whole heap of weight. You'll see there's no sunroof in this car either, although that wasn't standard equipment anyway, that was an option. But that saves weight as well, and you'll notice that there's no rear seat, which saves a whole bunch of weight. So the ClubSport was a money saving and weight saving measure. So the difference between this car and a regular 968, depending on the spec of the regular 968 that you use, is between 50 and 100 kilos, which all adds up. It's adding lightness, as the guys at Lotus used to say. This car, you see this bright shiny fuel rail cover just here. That's new. I've just put that on because the last one was a bit too scuffed up. It's about to get new heavier duty suspension as well. Suspension that they refer to as MO30, which was an option pack that Porsche had, which gave it beefier suspension and beefier brakes. So it'll get the suspension next month and the brakes either next year or when the next owner, should I sell it before I do the brakes, the next owner will do that. Let's close it all up. Let's go inside. This interior will be familiar to anyone who knows the later generation 944 interior. The differences here: the ClubSport steering wheel, again standard on this model, no airbag or anything like that, and the 6-speed manual rather than the 5-speed that was in the S2 and the turbo. Other than that, it's pretty much the same. With 968 ClubSports, a lot of people, when they bought them, they optioned back in, they wanted the ClubSport badge, So they option back in a lot of the comfort items. So you see quite a few 968 ClubSports that have got the regular seats, the comfort, or what they call the comfort seats, which are the electrically operated leather seats. And they'll also option back the rear seat. Mine hasn't got any of that. The only options that were on this car were a 2-speaker stereo and air conditioning. It's got a climate control air conditioning. So anyway, I'll turn this camera off, we'll turn the other one on and go for a drive.
Roll cage fitted, it's a half cage, it is welded in, it's not bolted in, it's been done properly. It's road legal because it's a half cage. That was done by the previous owner. I don't agree. I quite like it. And I found that short shifters generally feel a bit uncomfortable anyway. It's pretty low at the back. I'm actually getting it raised. When I put the new suspension on, it's just a little bit too low at the back for my liking. Anyway, that's the car on the move. Doesn't get driven like that very often, but for the sake of this video, it's nice to see what it can do. A bit more capable hands than mine, it can do a hell of a lot more than that.